Hey Flosstubers, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Tuesday, September the 8th. September is going as fast as the rest of the year. I just got back from doing my grocery store run and it's like, okay, Labor Day happens and now everything is Halloween. Pumpkin spice, everything is not a joke. You know, you've got everything from pumpkin spice coffee creamer to pumpkin spice room freshener, and it's just like, people, it's too much. Aisles of Halloween candy, aisles of Halloween costumes. It's just crazy. But I'm here today to do a quick video. I was going to do my update of September Specialty Stitch September, my week 1 progress, and then show you my starting point for my week 2. And I also found a tag that I hadn't done yet while I was trying to catch up on Flosstube, and slowly but surely I'll get there someday, maybe, I hope, possibly. We'll see. I hope everyone had a good Labor Day yesterday if you live in the States. If you don't live in the States, I hope you had a good Monday. We pretty much hung around the house, went to my parents for dinner and for swimming, and, you know, relaxing day. My son was thrilled to realize that sometimes when you're in school you get 3-day weekends. Not every weekend. Sometimes you do. How to make a Starbucks run after I went to the grocery store today. No, it's not pumpkin spice. I'm not a pumpkin spice fan. Just not. So, Specialty Stitch September. For week 1, really good week. I worked on Box of Delights from Blackwork Journey. Went really fast. I started in the middle of the piece. There's 6 blocks total on the piece, and I started with block 3. And when I had started this piece, there's 6 little of the delights in each block, and then border depending on where. So I had finished, and little diamonds in between all of the delights. I had done 5 or 6 of the delights outlines and 1 of the little diamonds in the middle on block 3. Here's where I got to this week. A lot further than just block 3. So this is block 1 up here. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this and it's not really holding well. I'll fold it and I'll come back around. This is block 1 up here. So I finished all the outlining and border on block 1. This is block 3. So I finished all the diamonds and the border there. And then I did the delights for boxes 2 and 4. Now, if you recall, I'm going to do all of the outlines of all of the delights before I go back and fill them in with Jottery Designs threads. Really enjoyed this week. It was, it was repetitive, so it didn't take too long. It went really quickly. I really enjoy the effect of the black work. I think it looks great. I'm really excited to get to actually filling them all in, but I'm very glad that I'm doing it this way because I think it'll make it more fun when when I come back to this, I'll work on the border and all of the diamonds in between this section of delights and then the last 2 sections. I will enjoy, I think, having all of the delights to look at and all of my threads to pick from and figure out what I want to do. So I'm looking forward to it. Really good week this week for Specialty Stitch September. So that one's getting put away. And this week, starting today, I'm going to be working on Queen of the Needle by Just Nan. This is another one of my August Angst starts. And just in looking at this pattern, like the instructions of the pattern, without showing you the pattern, it's got Smyrna stitches, satin stitch, Smyrna cross satin stitch, daisy satin, a large 3-color rose, heart drawing stitch, Van Fault, cashmere, floral satin blossom with Smyrna cross center, and round eyelets. And I think that's it. Yeah, those are all the specialty stitches. So there are lots of specialty stitches in this really pretty piece. And I'm excited to start working on it now. Let me show you guys where I stopped. I don't know when I'm going to get to the specialty stitches, meaning I don't know where in relation I mean, I can look on the pattern, I suppose, but I don't know off the top of my head where in relation to where I stopped. Sorry, threads fell out of the bag. See, pretty threads. I'm doing this on 28 Jobelan in Fruit Punch from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using the called for silks. And here's where I stopped when I last worked on, or when I started this piece and when I last worked on it. So this is all just basic crosses right now. And then my minder is a Celtic Key needle minder from Gina's Unique Needle Minders. I'm looking at the pattern, and this section has the band that I'm working on that has the crown in it. Let's pull this up so you guys can see it again. Above the crown is some of the writing for the piece, and below the crown is some specialty stitches. And then if you go up, which is probably the direction to go, because the only reason I didn't start at the top is because I was missing some of the threads that I needed. There are lots of bands above this that are full of specialty stitches. So we'll see where I get to in 7 hours. I get amused every time I see someone else refer to this as the Katie method, but it really works. It's a great way to set a goal on something you want to work on, or something you don't want to work on, even if you're kind of whining and whipping a piece. But it's a really good, you give yourself a time limit, and then you can go do whatever else you want as far as stitching goes. And I think that's great. So to pad this video a little bit, since we didn't have any mail yesterday, so we don't have any haul to show, I was going to do the Dreamworld tag by Rachel Peep. Hi, Rachel. I have to say, Rachel, I'm drawn to your channel a lot because my little sister's name is Rachel. So Rachel does some great pieces. Check her out. I really do enjoy her videos. They're very soothing, very calming, and I love the work that she's doing on some of her pieces right now. I will put a link to her tag in the description below. So if you're interested in doing this tag, you can do it, and you can check out the rest of Rachel's videos if you're not already a subscriber. This is the Dreamworld tag, and this is definitely different. It's not only, I mean, it's primarily cross stitch, but it also veers off, which I like. So let's get started. Question number 1, if you could stitch in any place in the world, where would it be? It would be on a balcony in a villa in Tuscany, looking out over the Tuscan countryside. Or it would be in a apartment in Rome, looking out over ancient Rome. Yeah, one of those two. Somewhere in Italy, looking out over the beauty that is Italy. I have said before on this video, if I could retire any place in the world, I would go and retire in Italy. And I love Rome. It's one of my favorite cities. But Tuscany is gorgeous countryside, and really it's like a 2-hour train ride from, if that, from Rome to Florence. I think I could handle that. I could handle living out there in a beautiful, you know, the whole under the Tuscan sun type setting, not without the cheesy movie, but that whole sort of find a place and make it mine and have a simpler life. Sorry, my nose is... I've read so many different places today on Facebook of everyone getting the end of summer, beginning of fall colds. I am getting one. So that would be where I would go. Number 2, what is your most interesting dream while sleeping? This is a hard one. I've been dreaming a lot lately about random people that are no longer in my life, like whether they are old people I was on the high school speech team with, or people who used to be friends that we have drifted apart from each other, or, you know, the occasional famous person. I mean, I'm not going to complain if Tom Hiddleston shows up in one of my dreams. Not that way. Okay, moving on before I turn bright red over here. I do have one dream that I always know that I am stressed if I have the dream. And it's probably one reason why I kind of shy away from a lot of underwater mermaid type patterns. I have this dream, and I know I'm stressed, and I've had it since I was, I remember having it as early as 8th grade, having this dream, where I live in, like, I sometimes I'm a mermaid, sometimes I'm a human, but I live in this little kingdom under the sea, but it's not like, I mean, it's covered in a great big bubble. So we're walking, we're not swimming. But, you know, it's like this little, you know, enclosed space around at the bottom of the ocean, surrounded by all of this water. And think about, you know, envision when you're at an aquarium and, you know, the glass goes over you in some of those hallways and you see everything swimming around. So you can see like all of the ocean life swimming around. And I know I'm stressed because it always happens that a massive killer whale or shark or blue whale, something big like that, will attack the city and break the glass and we all drown. It's the only dream that I have regularly. Not really the most pleasant of dreams. My most interesting thing to dream about while I'm awake or imagine about, you'd see it in my cross stitch. Fairies, Italy, the mystical type of stuff that, you know, yes, I'm 35 years old, but by golly, I do believe in fairies. Just that sort of thing. If you could design your own planet, what would it look like? I would say it would be pretty much like Earth as far as just, you know, the blue sky, green grass, water, mountains, beautiful. But it would be Earth without the pollution, without the destructive influences of man. Earth in its more natural form. There's some, you know, gorgeous places in this world that haven't been touched by modernity in the same way that other places have. And while, yes, I like living in the city and all that, I would love it if, you know, everything was clean and pure and clear. What elements, animal, plant life, etc. of Earth would you take with you? And when Rachel asked this question, she kind of explained it could be anything from Earth, and it could not, I mean, it could be beyond just elements, just what, something from Earth you'd bring. Cross stitch, duh. I'm not counting my family because I'm kind of assuming they're already with me wherever I'm going on a separate planet. I would probably bring, I don't know. If I was going for like natural elements and stuff like that, my favorite animal is a penguin, so a penguin would probably come along. I love either weeping willow trees or the cherry trees, the blossoming cherry trees. I could see bringing those. I love crystals and natural stones and stuff that are, if I'm making it as Earth just without the influence of land, I'd pretty much bring everything I could. If you were told, question 4, if you were told you could have your own cross stitch line one day, what would its theme be or its color scheme? It would probably be mystical, because that's my favorite stuff to stitch. Mystical, and I could see some landscapes with the mystical elements to it, like creating a land of fairy where you're not just stitching, you know, normal trees with green leaves, but pink leaves and purple leaves and things you would see and all that. Fairies, elves, all that sort of thing. Stuff you see me stitching all the time. Color scheme, I think I would, my favorite colors are blues, purples, and pinks, as you guys have seen several times, so I think those would probably be dominant, but I would use all colors available to me. If you could, would you design a new type of thread? And if you so, what would it look like? I love the threads that are out there. If I was going to go into a thread line, I would try to go, my favorite threads to work with are silks, like Gloriana, Karen Water Lilies, all these other silks that I'm working with. I love them. So I'd probably have a silk line, but I would do like Karen water lilies are pretty variegated, but I would go like brighter, more obvious variegation, like some of the hand-dyed cotton designers do. I would just let my imagination go wild. Probably be all fantasy themed names and color schemes and that sort of thing. If you knew you would live 100 more years, what would you stitch? Everything in my stash. And I'd keep adding to my stash. Really, that's my plan now anyway. I have more than I will probably ever finish stitching in my lifetime. And that's just the long and short of it, even if I live for another 100 years. But I would just keep stitching whatever called to me in my stash. I would keep adding to my stash. I would keep doing whatever called to me at that time, working on all of my whips. I'd eventually get something done. 100 years, I can get something finished. But yeah, I would stitch everything that I have in my stash and just keep adding to my stash as new things come out. My hair is all crazy today. What the heck? So that is the Dreamworld tag. Thank you so much, Rachel. I enjoyed that. I love the different types of questions that you asked. So really, that's it for me today. Short video. I will be back on Sunday for my weekly update. And anything else that I've got going on at that point. I hope everyone has a great day, a great rest of the week, wonderful stitchy week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!